10 surprising facts about the human brain.
The human brain has proven to be extraordinarily adept at neglecting itself throughout time. Everyone has minimized the significance of the mystery matter inside our ears, from the ancient Egyptians to Aristotle. Galen, a renowned anatomist, credited the brain with controlling movement and speech, but even he disregarded the white and gray matter, reasoning that the fluid-filled ventricles in the brain were mostly responsible.
Welcome to the Know It All YouTube channel.
To know about all the interesting facts from around the world, click the subscribe button and make sure to hit the bell icon if you don't want to miss out on new videos.
Do you know?
The human brain is a remarkable organ that has baffled scientists and researchers for centuries. It is known that the average adult brain weighs about 3 pounds and is composed of hundreds of billions of neurons that communicate with one another to support the body's many functions.
However, what is truly fascinating is that the brain is capable of producing as much energy as a 60-watt light bulb while we are awake.
Furthermore, it is responsible for the production of every thought, feeling, and sensation we experience on a daily basis. The human brain is often considered one of the most complex and mysterious organs in the body.
But did you know that it's also incredibly powerful?
For example, the average person has about 70,000 thoughts per day.
That's more than 45 thoughts per minute. The human brain is one of the most complex and fascinating organs in the human body.
It contains over 100 billion neurons and trillions of connections between them, forming intricate neural networks responsible for our thoughts, feelings, and actions.
What's even more surprising is that the brain consumes only 20% of the body's oxygen and calories, despite its immense computational power.
Recent research has also shown that our brains continue to develop and change throughout our lives, challenging the conventional wisdom that the brain is fully formed by early adulthood.
Now let's go through the 10 most amazing facts and point that you have never known about the human brain.
When you're exhausted, your brain works more creatively.
I think this is an amazing idea, is it?
For example, if you are a morning person, you should prioritize doing your most difficult, analytical work in the morning when you are feeling most alert. It's best to use your brain's capabilities while making judgments, responding to inquiries, and solving difficulties.
However, if you're trying to be creative, you'll actually be more successful when you're more exhausted and your brain isn't working as well. Although this seems ridiculous, it actually makes sense when you consider the reasoning.
It's one of the reasons why after a long day of work, brilliant ideas frequently strike in the shower. When you're fatigued, your brain has a harder time focusing and blocking out distractions. Additionally, it is significantly less effective at recalling relationships between ideas or concepts. Both of these are beneficial when it comes to creative work because it forces us to form novel connections, be receptive to fresh perspectives, and think differently. Therefore, when working on creative projects, a tired, foggy brain is much more useful to us.
Our brains are absolutely incapable of multitasking.
We have long been told to practice multitasking, however, it turns out that multitasking is actually not possible.
When we multitask, we're actually switching between contexts. That is, rather than working on multiple tasks simultaneously, we quickly flip between them.
Exercise can improve your willpower and organize your brain.
Exercise is beneficial for the body, but what about the brain?
In the same way that exercise and happiness are connected, it appears between exercise and mental attentiveness. Your brain detects the beginning of exercise as a stressful event. The brain believes you are either fighting the enemy or running away from it when your heart rate rises. You release a protein known as BDNF, which is known as brain-derived neurotrophic factor, to defend your body and brain from stress. Your memory neurons are protected and repaired by this BDNF, which also serves as a reset switch. Because of this, when we exercise, we frequently feel relaxed, things are clear, and we eventually feel pleased. By trying new things, you can convince your brain that time is passing more slowly. In essence, before we ever perceive something, our brains organize a large amount of sensory data in a way that makes sense to us. Therefore, what we mistakenly perceive as our sense of time is just a vast amount of information that has been presented to us in a specific manner. Even worse, unlike our conventional 5 senses, which can each be linked to a single, specific area of the brain, our ability to perceive time is controlled by a variety of brain locations. Our brains take some time to comprehend new information when we are exposed to a lot of it. The duration of this processing feels longer. For example, we remember the time as longer because we record more of the event when we're in life-threatening situations.
Life-threatening situations make us pay attention, but they don't give us extraordinary perceptive abilities. Introversion and extroversion come from different wiring in the brain. According to research, introverts and extroverts have different brains in terms of how we absorb rewards and how our genetic makeup differs. When a gamble succeeds, extroverts' brains react more forcefully. Genetics has a role in some of this, but their different dopamine systems also play a role. The dopamine system, which influences how we learn and is often associated with encouraging us to seek out rewards, is made up in part of the nucleus accumbens. The difference in the dopamine pathway in the brains of extroverts appears to drive individuals to seek out novelty, take chances, and enjoy unique or unexpected events more than other people. Your brain performs better on a daily basis after a nap. We all know how critical sleep is to the health of our brains, but what about naps? It turns out that these brief naps can be really beneficial. The following are a few advantages of napping for the brain. The temporary storage areas of your brain can be cleared away by napping, allowing room for new knowledge to be received. A difficult activity from a University of California study that required participants to absorb a lot of new material had to be finished by about noon. Your brain size can vary as a result of stress. In a different investigation, it was shown that persistent stress caused the hippocampus of rats to physically shrink. The hippocampus plays a crucial role in memory formation. It has been questioned in the past whether post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, may genuinely cause the hippocampus to shrink or if PTSD is simply more common in persons whose hippocampus is inherently smaller. This study may indicate that stress plays a role in the real alteration of the brain. Good to forget. Yes, it's beneficial for your brain to forget things since it signifies your brain is clearing out some unnecessary information when you forget something. Your nervous system will benefit from this since it will help it maintain its suppleness. The next time you forget anything, just remember that it was your brain's idea, that it was unimportant knowledge, not your fault. Brains are constantly evolving. Conventional scientific thinking formerly maintained that your brain ceases to be able to establish novel connections between neurons once you reach adulthood. This trait, known as plasticity, was once believed to be exclusive to young people. According to a 2007 research on a stroke victim, her brain had learned to compensate for the loss to the nerves delivering visual information by drawing the same data from other neurons. This came after a number of experiments that showed adult mice could create new neurons. Further study revealed that human neurons continue to form new connections throughout adulthood, and studies on meditation revealed that rigorous mental training can alter the structure and function of the brain. Our brain's majority of cells are not neurons. We now know that neurons make up only 10% of our brain cells, contradicting the traditional adage that we only employ 10% of our brain power. The term glia comes from the Greek word for glue and refers to the remaining 90% of the brain, or around half of its weight. Previously, neuroscientists believed that glia simply served as the glue holding neurons together. But more recent studies have revealed that glia is much more. The functions of these underappreciated cells were outlined in a Current Opinions in Neurobiology in 2005. These functions include removing extra neurotransmitters, offering immunological protection, and even stimulating and regulating synapse formation and function. The links that connect neurons are known as synapses. The human brain is a fascinating organ that is still largely unexplored. Did you know that the brain continues to develop and change throughout our lives? This means that we have the power to shape our own brain function through learning and other experiences. Additionally, the brain is capable of rewiring itself in response to injury or illness. We hope you learned a lot about the human brain. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We'll see you next time. Don't be a know-it-all. Instead, be a learn-it-all.